Hello there guys, something a little bit different for you today. Recently I was looking at some of my older models, both on the shelf and some of the images that I have of them on my computer. And I was going through and looking at some of the techniques I'd used and what I was happy with and what I might want to improve in the future. And I thought you might like to see some of the models that I made before my YouTube channel. So here are 5 dioramas I built before I started my channel. Of course I don't have any video of the build process, but I do have lots of work in progress photos, and of course I've got some final photos as well. So first up we have this World War I diorama of a British tank going over the trenches with a few figures also about to go over the top. This is the Takom Mark I male tank, and the figures are from Masterbox. This tank itself was about the 3rd or 4th model that I built. It was completely brush painted. I remember having trouble getting, I think it was the AK or maybe MIG acrylics to adhere to the plastic. The surface tension wasn't right. And then I discovered that you could actually prime your model and it made a nice matte surface for that paint to bite to. And in fact I think I've done a pretty good job actually there of painting that in that service green colour. I really enjoyed building this, and for me at the time it was quite a complex kit. You do get the interior of those sponsons as well. I'm not quite sure why I didn't build the gear on top of the tank, which you can see in the box art image, but I didn't. You can also see here that my decal application definitely needs some improvement at this stage. I don't really think I knew about having a nice smooth surface for decals. And so you can see already those decals there are starting to peel up. This was actually my second attempt at a diorama for this vehicle. My first attempt was way too big, and I got it done and I put some real soil as the groundwork. I went away for the weekend, and when I came back the real soil had sprouted mould all over the base, probably feeding on that delicious PVA that I'd used. So that one went in the bin. And then for this groundwork I used, I think it was some sculptor mould. These photos are dated February 2018. And I think I was particularly pleased with myself here for the trench work. I remember being quite proud of myself for having the wire from the wooden panels around the posts that hold them up, and that I put some kind of sort of war propaganda poster on the trench sides as well. You can see that I've also got an attempt at barbed wire, and the supports for the barbed wire, which were just made from some copper wire. I don't know where I got that from. I remember at the time when I put the mud on the tank I did it and then I thought, oh my god, I've gone way too over the top with that mud. I think in reality I don't have too much mud on it, but I think the mud is not really refined enough. It goes from big blotches of mud to clear areas of tank with not a lot in between. Of course the big thing that I never really did for this, and I should have done, is I never did anything for the side of the diorama. So you've got that raw XPS foam exposed there, and that massively detracts from it, doesn't it? I've tried to edit that out in the photos, but if you look at the originals here you can see it just doesn't look decent. Nevertheless though, I do like this. I don't really want to go back and sand down the sides and put any edging on it. I just like it for what it is really. It's a reminder of some happy early days modelling. Okay, next up we have what is still actually one of my favourite dioramas that I've ever built. It is this Hummel here. This is a dragon kit, and I think it's this boxing, but I can't be sure to be honest. And I think it's this dragon set of loading figures too. It's funny, I feel like in my early days of modelling I chose much more complicated kits and spent much more time on individual models. And part of me does wonder if I don't have some sort of self-imposed pressure to get things done quickly these days, to get them online, to get them onto my YouTube channel. And also perhaps because I wasn't sharing any images of these early models, perhaps I felt less worried about trying things out. I don't know. I'd completely forgotten that I'd put green and red-brown camouflage on this Hummel, because of course it does get a snow camouflage over the top later. The tarp on the side here was my first attempt at making tarps from epoxy putty, and if I remember correctly, the snow was made with some precision snow and ice powder. And funnily enough, the groundwork there, which is a lot of sort of like dried moss and so on, I still have that bag of dried moss, and it's still about 3/4 full as well. And you know what, and genuinely, as I was just making this video now, I've just realised that these guys have got the autumn camouflage on them, and I've just been painting an autumn camouflage pattern on a soldier's uniform for a future diorama that you guys will see. I need to go back and look at that now and compare my modern version with that version. I'm even looking here at the mud behind the running gear and thinking, I've done a pretty decent job of that. I wish I remembered how I did it. But yes, this is one of my favourite dioramas still. And I think it looks particularly good in the natural lighting here. Moving swiftly on, and we have a Tamiya kit here, dated May 2018. For my build, that is, not for the kit itself. This is their LRDG Chevrolet. This was spray painted with rattle cans using blue tack to do the masking. I know I've got the light blue there, and I know it's debatable whether or not there was light blue on these vehicles, but I didn't know any better at the time. This diorama was my first attempt at using some crackle paste for the kind of dried riverbed there that they're in, and using some raw XPS foam with some knife strokes in it to make some ridges and cracks in the rocks. Overall, the diorama is okay, but of course it's very flat, isn't it? And I haven't painted the sand paste that I've used there, so it's a very clear line where it meets up with the crackle paste. So not one of my favourite dioramas here, but still a really interesting subject for me, and something I would like to do again better in the future. Number 4 is this mouse. This is the Takom kit, 1/35th scale still. And the figures are the Tamiya maintenance crew. The figure kit actually comes with a Maybach engine, and so I whacked it inside the mouse. I've no idea if that's exactly where the engine went in a mouse, but it gives the crew something to look at. I was quite pleased with the base for this, which is really simple. It's just XPS foam, and I've put some kind of filler on it to give it a sort of rough concrete effect. I specifically remember putting the streaks on the side of this vehicle. I think it must have been the first time I tried that technique, and thinking, wow, the vehicle's really dirty and worn now. But of course, with hindsight, it looks incredibly clean and incredibly monotone in terms of the colour variation. There's definitely not even a pin wash or anything like that on here, is there? This is one model, actually, that I might go back and repaint. I might either paint it in the same scheme but re-weather it, or I might put it in as a what-if scheme and sort of a camouflage scheme on it. But I'm quite tempted to keep the base but just repaint the mouse. I don't know. If you have any ideas, do let me know in the comments below. And finally, for something completely different, this very small scale abandoned city. These are very small scale city kits, 1 to 2500 scale. For a long time I couldn't work out who had made these, and then I asked ChatGPT, and it didn't really know either, but it did say, why don't you just have a look on the underside for a manufacturer's mark? Yeah, so I did. Dope. So it turns out that artificial intelligence can be helpful sometimes. So I did, and they're actually made by a company called Geoscraper, as in skyscraper, but Geoscraper. Anyway, they're a Japanese company, but I do actually have 2 more of these kits with slight variations in the buildings still in the stash. Basically what happened is I watched a YouTube video I saw somebody who'd done a great job on one of these, and essentially I wanted to copy their idea. I didn't actually realise until I went back to the images just how good this looks like this. I'm really quite happy with this. It's simply some oil paint. I don't even think I painted the original buildings because they were pre-coloured. And then after an oil paint wash, I just stuck on some greenery to make it look overgrown. However, I then made a big mistake because the guy in the YouTube video had his half full of resin to make the city look flooded. So I did the same thing. And it didn't go well. To start with, whatever it was I used for the sides for the mould, some kind of perspex, I just could not get away. So large parts of the side are still stuck to that model to this day. And by the way, these photos are taken now, today. I still have this model on my desktop. As you can also see, there was some air trapped in the models, which has slowly escaped up through the resin, which is not what I wanted. And we have a bend here in this skyscraper. That's not an optical illusion, that is the heat of the resin which has bent the plastic. It's a shame really, because it actually doesn't look too bad. I am quite tempted actually, now I'm looking at these images, to put some safety glasses on and just try and smash that perspex off the side. It would make it look a bit better at least, wouldn't it? But no, looking at these images here, it really has inspired me to have a go at making another one. Maybe one without the water, and maybe one with a small amount of water. Maybe just a couple of centimetres at most. Of course, I now have that resin which I used recently. What's it called? Is it Easy Clear? Something like that? Which is much better quality than what I would have used on this. And it will pour deeper without any issues and without any heat. Anyway, there we go guys. That was my quick recap of 5 dioramas that I made before I started my YouTube channel. Looking back at all 5 of these models, it really did remind me of the good time that I had building them. I can remember the process of each individual one, where I was, what I was doing at the time, and really just how much fun I had, even though some of the kits, like the Takom kit and particularly the Dragon kit, were quite hard for a beginner. And yes, there were mistakes in all of them. I missed bits out, I broke bits, but I am still happy with the result. And I had fun making them. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Do let me know which of these dioramas you liked the most, and what are some of the first model kits that you built once you got into the hobby, whether it was coming to the hobby new or getting back into the hobby after maybe doing it when you were younger. Do let me know in the comments below. I would like to say huge thanks to my Patreon supporters and YouTube members for their ongoing support of my channel. It is massively appreciated. I hope to see you all in a future video. And until then, thanks again for watching and have fun modelling.